person, anything can happen. Anybody can be knocked out. Because remember, the chin don't lift weights. That's what I always say.
Heavyweights as the sparring, or bigger people, like from middleweight to heavyweight. And the thing is, don't be surprised, okay? This is a photo. This is a photo of one of the bigger guys that he was sparring.
Floyd Mayweather was truly shocked after seeing that Gervonta Davis knocked out a heavyweight during sparring for the Jake Paul fight. He said, "People still don't understand that size doesn't decide boxing. A bigger body can fall just as fast if the opponent has speed, power, and perfect timing." Floyd explained that a smaller fighter can absolutely knock out a larger one, and Tank just proved that again by dropping a man way above his weight.
Anybody can be knocked out, so I don't put nothing past nobody. I could be knocked out. Hit me from the blind side. That's most time how fighters get knocked out, with the hook. You can't see a hook coming because it comes from the blind side. But as far as with boxing, I don't really need to beef with. I really don't need to beef with nobody in the sport of boxing. Even though it could be some people I really don't like, I don't need to beef with nobody. They ain't got what I got. They boxers. I'm a businessman. And then on the outside, most time, a motherfucker got beef with me because they ain't got what I got.
Gervonta Davis has made a career out of challenging himself against bigger men long before this upcoming clash. Coaches around him believe testing his explosiveness against athletes with far more mass keeps him sharp and comfortable under pressure. That preparation style forces him to stay quick on his feet and punch with precise timing. Meanwhile, Jake Paul is putting in his own hours alongside shorter, elusive boxers to build familiarity with someone extremely mobile. Both sides accept that physical differences alone don't decide outcomes. Davis has been molded by years of conditioning built around durability. Paul is building strategies to cut distance and find clean angles. With every session, both sides prepare for a matchup where smart tactics and discipline may outweigh raw size.
Or bigger people, like from middleweight to heavyweight. And the thing is, don't be surprised, okay? This is a photo. This is a photo of one of the bigger guys that he was sparring. But in the past, like maybe a few years ago, he was fighting a guy in Mayweather's camp. He was a bigger guy. I think he was like a middleweight or something like that. He was whooping his ass. One time he was like on live whooping a bigger guy's ass. He's just beating bigger guys like middleweights and stuff. He's done that in sparring forever. Remember this story? I've brought it up a million times and I've showed this clip a million times, but on Ellie Set Back. This story of this guy saying how Gervonta Tank Davis knocked out this heavyweight.
Tell me the story. What happened?
Tank, what's the one boy name?
No, don't say his name. I don't want to embarrass anyone.
Oh, no, you're right.
But tell people what happened.
Man, I was about to spar. Before I was about to spar Tank, he was sparring this big boy.
A heavyweight.
Heavyweight boy. And Tank hit that nigga. He hit him so hard that he was on the top of the roof just like this. I'm like, I thought he died. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you. I thought he died.
Hey, I've seen him knock out some heavyweights. Knock all the ass out now.
You knock out a heavyweight?
Yeah.
How was that?
Because I hit harder than Wilder.
Now, granted, the heavyweight that Gervonta Tank Davis is whooping and sparring is not like, all-time great heavyweights, all right? And it shouldn't be. But he's sparring the level of heavyweight that, more experienced than Jake Paul, right? But Jake Paul has beaten those heavyweights himself, all right? I'm thinking that is the caliber of heavyweight that Gervonta Tank Davis is sparring, but he's whooping their asses. And that's a good thing. Honestly, I feel with Jake Paul sparring Raymond Ford, to me, it looked like Raymond Ford got the best of him. It looked like Jake Paul was a little exhausted, and it looked like Raymond Ford wasn't. It looked like Jake Paul was a little disappointed in his performance, and Raymond Ford was trying to give him a pick-me-up. Like, just kind of let them out. No, we do this and do that. It just looked like Raymond Ford was in a confident, secure place, more dominant place, the more alpha out the two in the ring, and that's Raymond Ford. That ain't Gervonta Davis. I love Raymond Ford. I have him on my fighters list. But still, I don't think anyone thinks he's as skillful or as powerful as Gervonta Tank Davis.
Recent camp reports say gym regulars have watched Davis drop partners much taller and stronger. Observers described scenes where imposing big men struggled to stay upright after taking his punches. The surprise wasn't that he hit them hard, but how much difference his accuracy made when he found the chin. People who stepped into that ring expecting to bully him quickly realized it was a mistake. The whispers from inside training suggest his power carries shock value far beyond lightweight divisions. That builds confidence for Davis and sends a subtle warning to anyone assuming mass will protect them from his strikes. His upper body momentum and compact stance help him generate force quickly. That combination makes his knockout potential dangerous no matter who stands opposite him.
Gervonta Davis knocked out heavyweight in brutal sparring session, and it just makes me think. You're willing to go spar with heavyweights, but you're not willing to go fight people that you should be fighting. You know what I mean? You're fighting Lamont Roach. His sparring partners was like, man, I was about to spar Tank. He was sparring this big boy, a heavyweight boy. And Tank hit him so hard, he was on the ropes like this, hanging. I thought he died. I was like, man, I hope you don't do this stuff to me. When Davis asked to confirm whether it was true, the WBA lightweight champion said, stuff be happening. Best not to get in there with me. That's it. This guy has all the skills in the world to knock out even heavyweights in sparring, and yet he won't fight Shakur Stevenson. He won't fight Teofimo Lopez. He won't fight anyone that he needs to fight to become great. He's fighting Frank Martin and Lamont Roach. You know what I mean? It's just truly crazy. But hey, it's his career. If he wants to just make money, the easiest money that he can without fighting the hardest competition. So
Popular boxing analyst recently mentioned that judging Davis by his most recent contest completely ignores his long record of strong finishes. Even in a night where expectations weren't met, he survived every round and maintained his composure. That ability to stay calm while solving problems is something only seasoned competitors possess. Paul has demonstrated courage, but he hasn't experienced the same high-level situations where a single mistake could cost everything. For Davis, tough nights become lessons. For Paul, difficult moments still present unknown outcomes. Fans rushing to conclusions seem to forget how many elite fighters Davis dismantled through patience and timing. Calling for an upset doesn't erase the difference in ring knowledge. Experience in critical moments often becomes the deciding factor.
Jake Paul is not beating Tank Davis. Can't believe I actually have to make this video, but let's break this down. Fact that there's actually credible names in the boxing industry saying that Jake Paul's gonna KO Tank Davis is wild. Look, I know Tank Davis's last performance against Lamont Roach was not that good. And in recent years, he's devalued his stock as a fighter by cherry picking, being extremely inactive, and just straight up fighting lazy sometimes. But let's not forget the offensive powerhouse that Tank Davis is. When he's on, he's one of the best knockout punchers in the sport today. He usually fights very economical the first few rounds, whether that's by strategy or that's just a habit he's had ever since he started boxing. But he does. He starts out very slow in the first few rounds. But once he starts to let his hands go and that snowball starts running downhill, there's almost nothing in the sport of boxing that can stop that. You need a guy who has elite defense to be able to stop an offensive assault like that. Only guys like Shakur Stevenson, Jaron Ennis, and maybe Devin Haney have the ability to stop that. And then we have Jake Paul. Yes, he's 6'2". Yes, he's going to be 200 pounds in the ring. But as you can see with his fight with Tommy Fury, he has poor defense. Whenever he faces another boxer who actually knows what they're doing, once they let their hands go, Jake doesn't know what to do. He's not comfortable defending, whether that's moving his feet or moving his head or just having a tight high guard. He doesn't do it. He gets fatigued and starts dropping his hands, and that would be fine if he had good movement to make up for it, but he doesn't. He has some pretty decent offense, but he mainly throws punches and combinations for the first 4 or 5 rounds and then gets fatigued. He's not a true one-punch knockout artist, and he's not a very good strategic fighter either when it comes to winning decisions. So what's going to happen is Jake Paul's going to throw combinations for the first 4 or 5 rounds, and then right when he gets tired, Tank's going to come on strong and start unloading with the hardest punches that Jake Paul has ever been hit with. And he'll get stopped. It might not be a one-punch knockout, but Jake Paul will get stopped.
Carl Froch, widely respected for his accomplishments in professional boxing, raised alarms about overall safety in this special matchup. His concern revolves around a significant physical discrepancy that could create danger if uncontrolled. Froch believes governing bodies usually require fighters to compete within similar categories to avoid extreme mismatches. He understands spectacle sells tickets, yet part of him worries about how much punishment someone far smaller can absorb from a stronger puncher. Coming from a veteran who has endured brutal battles, his statements hold credibility. His goal seems less about criticizing and more about making sure no one leaves the ring seriously harmed.